104 years old.
Yeah. You want to introduce this to everybody?
Oh, I guess you remember seeing one of these. Old Army doughboy hat.
Oh, yes.
Wes has got this in his museum. You know.
Like those German helmets, them, you know, they were made out of steel that would guard off a bullet.
Oh, it was.
And ours were just a bunch of pressed tin. And when they hit that, that'd tear a hole through the neck.
Oh, so the bullets went through this, huh?
Yeah.
These weren't much good. And I remember seeing one of these? Old Army uniform?
Yeah.
This must have been unpleasant to wear.
Yeah.
I guess, did it itch?
No, it, you know, like,
This isn't all.
oh, the Army had you
Hit the button.
furnish you all the clothes.
Uh-huh.
Which
Well, let me, hold on. Always the red buttons.
It's always the red one.
I hung my uniform in the attic, and then the kids wanted to cut the buttons off, and then the moth ate it, and so my uniform graduated, disappeared
It
in the pieces.
gradually went to pieces because the kids tore it up?
Well, they cut the buttons off,
Oh, they wanted the buttons.
but they're so,
Well, that's probably a better use for it than fighting in war with it,
yes,
huh?
less dangerous.
Yeah, less dangerous. So you went to the first training you had then was your first battle.
Yes, and we were organized when we finally got up that San Antonio district, and so instead of getting behind the trenches, we got into them,
Got right down into the trenches.
and that's where I went, and I never missed a day. Oh yes, I did miss a day. We had these scabies, you know, a little
red
bug, and you had to get sulfur bath. So you went to the field hospital, and that's, I had to go there to get a bath. So that's the only time I had out of the Army. And when the armistice was signed, we were in the Argonne.
in the Argonne.
You know, a clear across branch.
Now, did you live in the trenches?
Yes.
What was life like living in a trench?
Well, you know, living in the trench, that was just a ditch full of water and mud.
Full of water and mud.
About up to your ankle.
Well, where did you sleep or just stay and watch? Or?
If you get tired, so you just kind of doze off. You never went to bed.
You never went to bed. You just dozed.
There wasn't a night there that I was ever felt free to take your shoes off.
Now, did you have the big hip boots on?
No.
No.
It's just a hobnail.
Just a hobnail boot.
Leggings?
Huh?
Leggings?
Leggings?
No.
Or puttees?
Yeah, they had leggings.
Yeah.
They had a cloth about 2 inches wide that you wrapped around you.
Yeah, the puttees, I think they're called. Is
Yeah.
it called a putty or a
Yeah.
putty? Yeah. Now, someone had told me that there were rats in the trenches.
Well, there was everything in the trenches. You know, like as far as the trenches were concerned, a rat is like every place else. They'll try to find a place for something to eat and sleep.
So you have your food back in you had food in the trenches? Did people who got killed stay in the trenches?
Well, there weren't so many of them got killed in the trenches. When they did, you put them up. Now, that's it. Mihiel, we were one day ahead of our supply line. That supply line was supposed to take care of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to go back and bury our dead
Mm-hmm.
after Mihiel. But after that, the supply line
Buried the.
was to bury them after we advanced.
So after the battle, you
Yeah.
buried your own
It
dead.
might be a day or two after the battle,
Mm-hmm.
because with your battle, you always had an objective to meet.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got there, maybe you waited for a day or two,
Mhm.
or that, how long you would stay there before you would advance again, you never knew.
You never knew. Now, how did you, when you buried the dead, how did you know who you were burying?
Well, they had these dog tags.
Oh, they had dog tags in World War I too.
One around your neck. And there were two of those dog tags
Mm-hmm.
on that string. Now, one of those tags were to be buried on the body,
Uh-huh.
and the other one was to be turned into headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here was the thing with it. Like with those dog tags, the first time we went back, we didn't know what to do, but we took the two dog tags
Mm-hmm.
off the body. And I know that one grave, I think we had 3 or 4 American soldiers laid
Mm-hmm.
in there, and they had a blanket that they spread over the face
Mm-hmm.
so they could throw it in, so dirt on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so was that tag.
Mm-hmm.
And then we put one with their little luggage to turn it into headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And then after going there, I thought, my golly, we got to do something. They didn't know, we didn't know what to do. So I took my spade and dug it in the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and then cut a lot of this brush there.
Mm-hmm.
Brush and made a cross and put on each grave, and then put their tag on there.
Uh-huh.
And that should never have been done, because I just sold those tags for all.
So they would never have found out
Oh yes,
where the dead were.
they knew who the dead were, because we turned their little personal stuff
Uh-huh.
in, and their dog tag was on there.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew they were killed in act,
Mm-hmm.
you see, so that's why there's so many of them that are missing. They wouldn't bury one
Mm-hmm.
unless they were sure they had the tag on
Mm-hmm.
or that there, because now with that grave there, if they say it's bury this one, and if you didn't know his name, I put an A.V. in it, and I suppose they figured this ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have all the graves marked, so if anyone come back to visit the graveyard,
They'd know.
they'd know right where to look.
Now, I guess that was pretty grim work. After a battle, you know.
It was, like I know the first thing I run across was a German soldier and an American soldier. They were laying, probably 2-3 feet apart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they died there. However, they then went on to bury the dead. And I thought, damn it, they lay in there so peacefully and on the moon. And I thought, why the hell do we have to kill one another to be so peaceful? Oh, I can think of lots of things that never happened, but it's a funny idea
Mm-hmm.
what you get when you have to live with
Yeah. Now, you buried the American dead.
it. You
Did the Germans get an opportunity to bury their dead?
No.
You just left them out?
Buried them too, and put their stuff the same as ours,
Mm-hmm.
the headquarters. And that's when, you see, it was the headquarters. And then when the war was over, they got their
Strange.
package, and they knew their soldiers were killed in
Mhm.
battle.
Okay, so you won the battle, and so you buried all the soldiers that
Oh,
time.
well, you couldn't leave the dead lay there.
Mhm.
You know, now here was the thing with it when we got into Germany after the war. You see, I never realized just what the civilians had went through.
Mhm.
But the civilians that lost men there, and like this one woman was saying, they wrote to them for over a year to see if they died in battle,
Mhm.
wounded or what. Never one word.
Never a word.
Now, that was about the time that Holocaust was on. And then I heard him talking. And he was talking, he said he didn't understand why they kept his Holocaust alive so long.
I'm sorry, kept his what?
Huh?
I don't understand that word, holocaust, or?
Well, that's what those 5,000 Jews that they murdered.
Oh, the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
And so he says, he says there were just as many other people that have suffered the same plight as them, and maybe more. But while we were so friendly with Russia there, after the war was over, then we found out they murdered about 27,000
Yeah.
war prisoners and war prisoners, they were dead, and that, you see, so that's the war. But we hate one country for a crime they commit and then praise another one for the same thing.
It's a strange thing, isn't it?
You know,
Yeah. Now, after the first battle, you moved on to another battle, and then to the Argonne, or?
no, well, it took, was there to 90 days to reach that. You had to fight your way all the way
You
through.
fought all the way through that time.
Yeah. Those battles, there were only 3 major battles
Mhm.
fought in them. See, it took a long time to reorganize
Uh-huh.
the division to make attack again.
Okay, so after a battle, a lot of reorganization,
Yeah.
and then another advance.
Another, get that, then another advance.
Mhm.
And then it was a whole net.
Mhm.
And then besides holding it, you never know how you may have stayed there,
Mhm.
depending on how everything advanced.
But the whole time you were there, it was the Americans advancing. You never got attacked. Did you ever get attacked, or were we all? Did you retreat, or
No.
we're always going forward?
Well, when you get in a battle, here's one thing that people don't seem to realize. You're fighting professional.
Mhm.
You're fighting men with experience,
Mhm.
combat experience. And another thing about it is this, is that you're ready to fight anytime.
Mhm.
But to say you never make an attack till you get everything organized.
Mhm.
And now there's another thing about it. This, like when we got to the Argonne, we relieved one company, and they were scared to death because they had rumors the Germans were going to attack at night.
Mhm.
Well, when we told me that, I thought, you folks guys don't know anything about war. The Germans don't attack at night. I said, when you get in these damn battles, both sides are mixed up,
Uh-huh.
and they ain't going to attack to shoot their own men.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's the way it works.
So the attacks were in the daytime,
Always in the morning.
always in the morning.
Most of the time. And now here's what happened there too. See, at first we didn't pay attention to it, but in spite of when you make that drive, you're always going to leave some Germans behind. And in those trenches, they dug caves in and that, so you've got Germans behind you. And when they spot them, well, either the German or the American would get shot. And so this one time, after that, we left the trenches open, so we got wise to that. So what we done after the battle was over, they put a guard somewhere at the end of your company, and then they would meet in the middle. So this lieutenant comes to me and he says, "You go out to the end of ours," he says, and he tries to tell me, he said, "You seem to understand this munition business better than somebody, so we want to put some of it and be as careful as they can." So I went in there, and the Germans had their grenades, mine, and that left in the trenches. Now here's what used to happen in the early part of the war. As quick as they'd make this one advance, then it was kind of a lull between more battles, and that's the way there, when they'd attacked us, otherwise maybe we'd have to go back into their trench. And he said, you see, in case they did, they'd be backing up in a hurry and maybe just not finish it. But if they did one of those grenades or something, they exploded.
Yeah.
So they wanted their trenches cleaned up. So we got there in the middle, and when I got within about 100 feet or so, this one American, he kept hollering, "Kill that son of a bitch, shoot him." And that's all he said, "Kill him, shoot him." You see, he shot him. He was one of these guys that was held up in some way, maybe in one of these little trenches on the side. And he didn't get out with the army.
This is the German now.
You know. So when he come out, he just saw this green uniform, so he shot, and he shot this American through the stomach. And this American, he cried for mercy. You know, that bullet hole, it wasn't the bullet that hurt him so much. That went through the stomach, and it opened those holes, and that acid from the stomach, that burned like fire.
Yeah.
And we never knew about that, so we thought it was his health.
From the shot, yeah.
But it wasn't. But anyway, he was stood there, and there were 3 Americans there in the middle. And I come up there, no one said a word. So I went over to the wounded man, I said, "What the hell happened?" He said, that guy shot me through the stomach. And he said, "Boy," he said, "Oh, okay." Well, I didn't know what it was, but after the war, long afterwards, my brother had an attack like that, but it was an ulcer, and it ate a hole through the wall of the stomach, and that's where they suffer.
And it burned the same way.
And when that ulcer broke, so that acid, boy, he just fell to the floor in pain. So that when I took him to the doctor, and then he told me, he says, "That's the only thing in the world that'll make a pain like that." And he says, "It's the acid that gets out of the intestine that hurts." And so they were there shooting at that, and no one said a word. Well, I could speak German,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to talk to this prisoner. He stood there as quick as he shot. He dropped his gun and was unarmed.
Mm-hmm. Was it a rifle or a pistol that he'd shot him with?
A rifle.
A rifle.
And so he stood there, and he stood at it, and as though he was at attention
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And so I kind of felt sorry for him. And this guy was hollering, shoot him, kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But then they kept sticking him a little in the legs with their bayonets.
Yeah, why were they doing that? To just anger or?
To irritate that German soldier.
Mm-hmm.
He was unarmed. He gave up,
Mm-hmm.
and so the guy was getting serious with his demand for killing him.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guys were, I thought they were come up and stuck him a little harder than they should have.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to them, and they were going to shoot him
Mm-hmm.
for that own advance crying all this, shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, you're not going to shoot this man. I said, he has a right to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
And I says, for us to shoot him like that would be nothing but cold-blooded murder.
Mm-hmm.
I says, I'm not for that. If you want to shoot a German, go ahead about 100 feet, and you'll see him have their rifle. Those are the guys we want to shoot. So no one said a word.
And that's the distance, Otto? About 100 feet up? The battle was going on?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he was wounded
Mm-hmm.
while we were taking them,
Mhm.
especially. And so I said, no one spoke a word, only that guy to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So I says to him, and I didn't. See, when we were in France, there was this lieutenant, whether he took a kind of a feel to me or not, I don't know, but he saw the people from the north
Mm-hmm.
were much better off from the south.
Mm-hmm.
Were so in poverty, you could tell right away on the men how slow no education or anything. And so he said, this woman, he talked to an officer and said, tell these men they're welcome to spend a couple hours of recreation.
Mm-hmm.
And they had chairs, swings in the back porch.
Mm-hmm.
And so while she was standing up there, kind of telling us about how France was there to help us in the revolutionary war and what. So she walked up to me and Grandma told me. And, but she didn't know how to invite us either.
Uh-huh.
And so she had that translated from French into French.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, she grabbed me and she said, come with me to my yard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when she had that translated, the French called that back porch, what we call a back porch for that. They called that a garden. So, so I don't know what this guy thought, but she was going to lead me to, the invitation was for everybody.
Uh-huh.
There was nothing about it that was just to show respect
Mm,
and
yeah.
decency. And so we started around to go to see that garden.
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody hollered, he said, he's a Bach. Well, a Bach,
Bosch.
that's
German.
That was a German.
Yeah.
And that was about as low as you could get him. What was quicker, he said he's a Bach. She dropped me like a hospital, you know. And she said, that's just my luck to pick a German spy dressed in American uniform. You see, so I thought, now what the hell am I being investigated? And I was scared because I thought, if they're investigating me, the first thing, if those damn French got anything to do with it, that somebody called me a bar, I was one of the most famous Germans that there was.
Yeah.
But you know, there wasn't a thing to it. So I don't know why that's just called.
Was it an American troop who called out that you were a Bosch?
No, it was one of our American troops called me a Bosch.
Just.
And of course, he picked me up, just showed me where we were supposed to. We were lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So I was scared, and I never forgot that. And so I had no idea who it was, why, and I thought, well, when I get out, they'll tell me to forget it or something.
Mm-hmm.
But no one said a word, and I couldn't ask them anything about it because they think I was a real German spy.
Well, they must have heard you speak German before?
No, they never heard me
You
German.
never heard you speak
But
it?
I knew I was German, and that's we wanted to question.
Uh-huh.
They laughed at me. So we went through that week, and no one said a word till we got to the Argonne, and we relieved the 5th Division. Up there, we were in the front line when we went into the Argonne.
Mm-hmm. So you relieved the 5th Division?
Division.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we relieved them, I was walking back behind the trenches, and the guy there, he said, where are you going? Well, I said, I'm going behind you and see if I can lay down for a few hours and sleep. Well, he said, you gotta go back. I said, no. I said, we're one of those, we're one of those guys that was just relieved. Well, he said, you gotta go back to hell from it. They're scared to death, and they're afraid, and then they got a rumor that the Germans were going to attack, so they didn't know what to do. He says, you go back to strengthen their morale.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm damn sick of doing that. That's all we've ever done. Every time we won a battle, and when we were relieved, you go back to strengthen the morale of the guys that relieved them. And I said, I'm getting damn sick and tired of that. That's all I've done. I said, we never got out of the trenches at all after we won the battle and that and stuff. Oh, you gotta go back to
Strengthen the morale.
the morale. And so
Sounds like propaganda, doesn't
he
it?
said, I don't believe that damn bit. So he said, here, take this stretcher up to the front line. So I took it. When I got up a little way, here lay someone in the grass, moaning and groaning. And so I went over. I thought to see what the hell was the matter with him. He was laying out here on this side of the trench.
Mm-hmm.
If he was wounded, I couldn't quite get it far.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went over there, and he had his head turned away there. And he was moaning, groaning. And then when he turned around and saw me, he recognized who I was. I was the guy that he called me a Bach.
Uh-huh.
Well, there was only two guys that knew that.
Mhm.
That was him and I.
Mhm.
And so, that's what he saw me, his damn lips putting their drops down on his chest. And he didn't know whether I was going to shoot him. I said, "You son of a bitch, I should blow your head off right now." I said, "You're the guy that called me Bart." Well, that's the first time I saw him.
Uh-huh.
So I had no idea who it was. I never thought of meeting that time. So I said, "I gotta take the stretcher up to the front line." And I said, "I'm coming back, and if you're here, you're a private." I said, "Boy, he was scared." So I went, and I left him there. When I come back, he was gone, but the rifle still lay there. And I never saw him anymore. And that was the first time I saw him. And if he hadn't recognized me, I'd have known anything about it.
Mhm.
But he gave himself away. So that's
Well, what were you going to do if he was there when you came back?
I was going to kill him.
You were going to kill him?
Yes, for calling me a boy.
Mhm.
I says, I never suffered so damn much agony in my life.
Yeah.
I said, went through this damn war, half wondering if the people that I was fighting with really thought I was a German boss.
Yeah.
So, but there never was anything to it.
Uh-huh.
Why he done it, I don't know. Jealousy.
Could be, yeah.
But, so that's the way that works.
Well, I guess you saw a lot of people go crazy in the war.
I wouldn't say they go crazy. They just get so nervous that a lot of them don't know what, they just don't know what to do.
Mhm.
It's scared.
Mhm.
Those damn shells don't sound very good.
Mhm. Now the shells went off during the night?
All the time.
All the time.
You see that they always, that's when they move the troops at night.
Mhm.
And they're always moved to change men in a position.
Mhm.
And you can talk a lot of spies. Those damn Germans knew our movements better than we did.
How do you, from spies you think, or
We just spies, yeah.
from airplanes, or?
No, probably dressed in American uniform.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
You know, a good spy will do anything to get the information.
But how would he get the information back? You mean he'd come over in the uniform and then sneak over at night?
They go over at night.
Go over at night.
And all those movements, it's easy for one to slip away at night.
Mm-hmm. Now, no man's, is it called no man's land? Between the
Yeah,
trenches?
Between the trenches.
Is that what you
That's-
all called it too, was
That's
no
what-
man's land?
That no man's land.
What did it look like?
Well, it was just, you know, it was just like any of the rest of it, only nothing on it.
Nothing on it.
It was just while no one's fighting.
Mhm.
That was a nice neutral spot between the two trenches.
Well, were there dead men out there, or how did people pick up the dead from no man's land?
Well, they didn't have to because they picked up the dead after the army advanced.
Okay. Okay. So you always, after the advance, you picked up the dead behind you.
That's when they started that cemetery.
Mhm.
You know, like when we went into Germany, we were in the front line in the Argonne,
Mhm.
and there was in Luxembourg
Mhm.
was a little country about the biggest Foster County,
Yeah.
and so we stopped there at noon, and there was a little store there. By golly, people were all around. You see, the war was over, the armistice anyway. So they stood there, and I told my buddies, I said, let's go over and see what the hell they got. Maybe we can get a bar can. Or, he said, are you nuts? He said, those guys, you couldn't even know what the hell they were talking about. So I never said anything, and I never mentioned that I could speak German. So, but when the war was over, so when I got up there, a woman got out, she started speaking German to me. Well, I talked to her, but I couldn't do it good. Their brogue was so different in such a close way. See, they had everything over there just like this country. Well, you said, maybe a Swede, talking English.
A little accent and...
Yeah. So anyway, that's the way it went that. So they never said a word. They let on that they didn't see over there. But while I was talking to this woman, there was an old man sitting there on a chair. And he looked at me and he smiled. And so I shifted my German to him. And then the person said, well, I knew where your folks come from when I heard you talk. He said, your folks came from the Black Forest country. And you know, he knew the different roads.
He could tell.
He could tell. Yeah, he said, I right. So we had quite a talk there. And I said, what are these people lying here? He says, there isn't a thing in that store. Everything is sold. They're just hanging around here, hoping the truck I'd come in with a little old merchandise. So when I went back, no one said a word. They let me think that they didn't see me talk to those German people. So when we hit the German border, this German guide, he couldn't speak a word of English, and our commander couldn't speak a word of German. So I got to hear, they met there, and they started speaking to one another in these different languages. And when it got so they were waving higher and talking louder, I knew they didn't know what either one was saying. So finally that guy stood out to me, and he said, is there anyone in this crowd that can speak German? Well, those guys spoke up, here can, here can. And I thought, you damn suckers, you wouldn't go with me, and you thought I was crazy to go there. So that's the first time I spoke any German, was in Luxembourg. So he said, will you go and see what the hell that guy wants? So I went over, I knew what he wanted, but I couldn't tell what he was talking about. But it wasn't for me to go out here, I could talk German. So he said, you go over there. So from there on I was interpreter. And I said, hell, I said, he's just a guide there. That's what he was trying to tell you. What part of Germany we were to occupy. Which way to go. Oh, so everything went on. But when we scattered the troops along the border, there were, they jump off a few to make a order. So we got in there, and the brass was up ahead, and they'd leave these soldiers or mud ducks or what, and there to take their position on the border. There was a house there. It was a little old shack, town of a town, and that's the first time I saw a spinning wheel.
A spinning wheel?
Yeah. This woman had a bunch of virgin wool, and she'd make it together and make her open and start on the spinning wheel. So I went over and talked to her, but she showed no response physically or morally.
Mhm.
And so I didn't know, maybe she old.
Mhm.
So I said, go ahead with your spinning. So it was 4 of us villagers in that little shack
Mhm.
with them. And so no one could speak German, so no one knew anything about it. She couldn't say anything. But then her daughter come in, and she was out doing the chores.
Mhm.
And boy, when she come in, it didn't take her long to straighten things out. And then she says, is there anyone here that can understand German?
Uh-huh.
I said, I can understand a little. I didn't want to tell her I could talk because I'd forgotten so much.
Uh-huh.
My mother died in 1906.
1906.
And you see, we wanted to forget our German
Mhm.
because we were on the wrong side of the track. We were the bums, and there, you know, like when we come to school, they say, here comes the cabbage head, and always making fun of it.
Making fun of you.
Because we were the end of the rope up here
Uh-huh.
in society.
As Germans? Or
Because
just, are you poor or what?
well, we were poor,
Mhm.
yes. And then my dad spoke so broken,
Mhm.
and the kids that are like today, you take the rich kids, can't understand why a German don't go out and run around like they do.
Mhm.
Well, they don't because they can't afford it,
Yeah.
number one. So anyway, that's the way the damn thing done. So she started German, and I could talk pretty good, the common things, we got along good. So finally she said to me, she said, is it all right if my boyfriend comes over to visit me tonight? I says, absolutely, no problem. And so, boy, he was surprised. He got telling, I got an American in there that speaks German.
Uh-huh.
And so that night the guy come in, 6 foot, looks like a person, large,
Mhm.
in the uniforms, would sat down like a gentleman would. But here the 4 of us were out there and talking, and I supposed to try to bring up something about him. And so I watched him pretty close, and you see those guys knew then that I could speak German,
Uh-huh.
because they heard me in Luxembourg. So I watched him there, and he was watching us too. And I thought, your expression on the face tells a lot. I thought he was thinking, well, you guys, because don't think you could run me, because you won the war. So, and finally he got pushing around his chair, and I looked at him, and the expression on his face changed.
Mhm.
And so they said, now you see what you done. He don't like us either.
Mhm.
So I said, I see that. And I said, so I'll go see what he says, but one of us has to move. He said, he ain't gonna stay here with you too. So I said, well, he said, what are you gonna do? I thought I should do something.
Uh-huh.
So I said, oh, nothing. So I walked over to him, and I said, guten Abend,
Mhm.
wie geht's? And I spoke to him in German.
Uh-huh.
My God, that means just like one of the sun coming out from behind one of these dark clouds.
Uh-huh.
Everything browned up so much. So we started talking. And of course he talked German, and I could talk with, and boy, he was pleased. And then we got talking our experience, and he was a swell guy, but so we got along good. And then it spread like wildfire. I got it in Americano. He speaks German. And I got along real with him. And so then afterwards, when we got through there, we were the best of friends. And those Germans never won a bit of trouble. They were glad to see the Americans in there. And they wanted to talk. So we got along wonderfully well. Well then, see, we were there without any brass. So pretty quick, the brass come in to relieve us. And the second lieutenant come in here, who the hell's in charge here? And no one said anything. And so he got a little louder in his demand. And I said, now I'll tell you, some of these American officers are wonderfully good guys, and some are just the opposite. So then I said, well, I don't know if anyone's in charge. I said, we came in here, and there was no one to speak English. So I said, I can speak German, and I guess maybe I should, it kind of depended on me with what they could do. And so when she asked me whether I minded if a boyfriend come home, I said, no. I said, we're not here to take anything away from you. We're here to try to help get restored again. And so we really got into it with the Americans that way. But you see, that's the trouble with it. And like I say, now when that wounded man that was there, when I said, get that wounded man the hell out of here, out of the war zone, because if the Germans would counterattack, chances are we'd have to use their trenches for our protection. And so that's the way things go with this damn war. So I just felt this way. And I had nothing against the Germans. And the Germans were awfully careful how they spoke. Because they didn't know they might spill something that we were forming a secret. So that's the way things go.
Well, you saved that German's life, that's German soldier's life then.
Yeah.
You saved his life.
Well, not only that, but you know, when I was in Turkey, if you went in any place.
Do you want a drink of water, Otto?
No.
It's okay.
Okay?
So I thought this way. Here was, I had no reason to get this damn war. Hell, when the armistice was signed, we laid our rifles on the parapet and talked like old friends. And here come a German soldier in an American arm, and he was trying to teach English. And he was trying to teach his German to say, the hell with it, all down. And it was so damn funny. And good friend, no one mistrusted. But then when you get in the army, you're under the command of the brass.
So you think the brass really made things worse?
Yeah. Because then, like that guy says to me, he said, did you interview that guy before he come in? I said, no, I didn't. I said, he come in as a friend of this girl. I said, I didn't interview. But he said, you got it. You want to be different now.
Mhm.
He said, anyone comes in here, he's got to be interviewed.
Mhm.
So there you go. That guy, just to show his authority,
His authority, yeah.
you had to do what he said. For me, I didn't have any, and I was just one of them.
Mhm. Now, in the course of the war, Otto, you mentioned that a lot of these soldiers just didn't know what to do and just cried and were nervous.
Yeah.
And now, were you like that in the beginning? And did you become professional, or was it different for you?
No, I've been asked that so many times, and I always, the more I was asked, the more confused I was to know what to tell them.
Mhm.
You know, you take some time, you see these guys die there walking alongside you and get hit and just drop dead.
Mhm.
And then someplace else get hurt with shrapnel, tore all to pieces.
Mhm.
And he was in a war, you know, I don't know, I felt that was something. I more or less felt like I understood what the thing is being acted.
Mhm.
You see, World War One, they claim was the bloodiest war ever fought.
Mhm.
And it was just for that one reason. Hell, when we made an advance, we were up there like sitting ducks.
Mhm.
And those damn machine guns would just sway across there.
Yeah.
And those machine guns would shoot about 300 and sometimes a minute.
Mhm.
So they could spread a lot of, didn't have to wait for the shells to be handled by hand.
But did you get used to war? Did you get used to war? You said, professional soldiers. Were you able to be more calm in war
Yeah.
later than in the beginning?
Yeah, when a fellow was in it, it was, I don't know just how you'd say it, but you were in there and you was fighting for your life,
Uh-huh.
and the guy that you was fighting against was doing the same damn thing.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, it's just you or I.
Mhm.
Now, one time I thought, it'd be nice to die, and then I thought, no, I don't feel that way. Damn it, I want to see how this is going to wind up.
Uh-huh.
I said, I want to see her all the way through, and I really felt that way.
Mhm.
And I forgot all things only to win.
Mhm. That was it, just to advance and to
It was just,
win.
and see, get it over.
Mhm. Did you think it was going to last as long as it did?
We thought it was going to last longer
Mhm.
because it was getting so those damn trenches in November, they were damn cold.
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning, and then you sat there with those damn gas masks
Mhm.
and everything. So it was,
How about
the
gas?
pleasure of it was all gone.
Mhm.
But I don't know when you got into battle, it seemed as though you didn't think much of anything, only you got to win this or die.
Win this or die.
And I thought both ways.
Uh-huh.
I thought it would be nice to die and have it over with.
Uh-huh.
And then again I thought, well, that would kind of be like a traitor because someone else would have to take my place on.
Uh-huh.
I just thought, you should forget it and just think about what you fight.
Mhm. Now, did it help you? Did you think back to your wife and family and getting back home? Did that help you motivate you, or was it just all in the war?
Well, you know, here was the thing with it. they were the ones that were wondering what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
And you tried to explain to them. And it was kind of a review for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I never thought much about it. When afterwards I thought, should a fellow ever mentioned it?
Mm-hmm.
Because those kids who asked damn many questions that you never thought they
Ask it.
would want an answer.
Uh-huh.
But you know, you heard them always talk about the war.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of these reporters, he says he wanted to start in the Second World War,
Mm-hmm.
start at the foot of it, to see how these men felt about the war.
Mm-hmm.
So he met this guy in a wheelchair, and he asked him what he thought about the war. He said, what gets me was this war. When the armistice was signed, everybody had a war story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Now the guy that probably never left the camp where he went to listen,
Mm-hmm.
he was the one that got home the first, and when he come home, it was always Warsaw.
Mm-hmm.
And then he come home as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
He told them how they fought these battles and that. And he says, that's what gets me. He says, those guys, they were home 2-3 months or maybe longer before the fighting ever got home. The people that never knew they were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and then people thought, by golly, those little boys are heroes,
Mm-hmm.
how they fought it. And the bastards
Never fought.
never heard of it. So he says that's what gets his goat.
Mm-hmm.
He said people forget that war was something serious,
Mm-hmm.
and that those guys were dying
Mm-hmm.
we thought to save help France save her rights.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, over here at that time they had Villers-en-Haye and a lot of with it. But the guys that were in it
Mm-hmm.
didn't have much.
Didn't have that fun. Now, what's your, if that was what got that guy's goat about war, what would your statement about war be?
That's what got my goat to work. Some of these guys that I knew never left the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I had guys tell me I never was in the war, that I was up in Canada and they drug me down here. And that was all that I volunteered my own self, which that's just that's the reason that France was, or Canada was thinking of putting the conscription.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt I'd be a candidate for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be on the American side.
Now, did you feel you were different when you got home?
No, well, I thought I was going to be along in pretty good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got home, and they done a lot of building. This war business hasn't changed it. Now here's one thing that Al, he says how he thinks he hates Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
I says, Al, I says, you know, I'd better know that you're going to vote for Clinton if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know, I said, now listen here. I says, this guy's got a good job. Clinton has got the people believing he's the cause of all this prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
The real cause of it is this. I never knew that when I was over